By the way, Greg, very happy to be the official third co-host of the show. Thank you for wanting me on board with Wayne. I appreciate it.
He
Me
didn't want you
too. Welcome.
on.
What?
Boy,
What, Wayne?
that was so exciting. Nothing. I didn't say anything.
You freaking Jamie Hatebreed looking motherfucker.
Ooh.
Well, I was trying to think if I said that as a joke or something, just because that sounds like my brand of sarcasm, but I don't recall saying it. So I think he's full of shit. That's why his eyes are brown.
My eyes are blue. Thank you very much.
You think I can fucking see that from here? Okay, thank you. Fine. I retract my statement, but still, I'm a Moonanite. I do whatever I want to whomever I want at all times, and I smoke as I shoot the bird. And I'm doing this as hard as I possibly can right now.
It's time for Rat Salad Review!
Welcome to Rat Salad Review. Hey, Lou.
Hi, Wayne.
What's up?
Nothing much. Why am I here?
I don't know. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Wayne. Hey, Lou.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, Lou.
Hi, Wayne.
Hey, Greg.
Hello.
Hey, what happened to Nate? He hasn't been on in a while, has he?
I believe he wasn't accosted by a soccer player that had a very familiar name.
David Beckham?
Actually, no, it's Wayne Noon.
Actually, Greg is right. There is a soccer player. Although I looked it up again the other day, and he wasn't a soccer player. He was a cricket player. But I swear to God, he was a soccer player with my exact name, middle name too, my whole name, and birthday.
That's weird.
I'm going to do a research on that again and find that guy because I know he's out there. I've seen it.
Mandela effect. Anyway, no.
Yeah. But
no,
Lou?
Just an illegitimate brother from his father's time in the Navy.
Did he have a good meal in the Navy? Sorry.
My father never went to England though, so that's kind of strange. But Lou,
that
welcome to
you
the
know of.
that I
If
know
you
of. That's
were
right.
trying to hide a child out of wedlock, you wouldn't tell everyone. I went to England and fathered a bastard child. You say you went to the Soviet Union or fucking Italy, not France, because France sucks. But anyway, keep going.
Give my love to Vladimir.
My
Yes.
father does not fly an airplane, so that's another issue. So I don't see him being over there. But anyway,
I'm trying to create whimsy.
Jesus
Just
Christ.
roll with it.
No, I'm trying to put realism into this and tell you the truth. And
We're keeping it 100.
Yeah, we are. And the one thing I want to keep 100 is you have officially joined Rat Salad Review.
I tip my hat to you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Really happy to be on board. And I actually got a nice text yesterday from Nate. Wished me well. Said that I'm.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he said, I wish you well. And, he's like, I think you're a good fit for them. And, you're going to do very well. And I wished him the best with his band. And, it ended very nicely and civilly. So, Nate, publicly, I say thank you and wish you all the best, bud.
Well, that's very cool of him. But I got a song for him.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I didn't love him. Whoa. I wanted the chorus to play twice, but I guess I picked it in the wrong spot. But you get the idea. Goodbye to you, Nate.
That just gave me an idea for when he might come on and do a guest spot. we introduce him, and then we immediately play the Cars. You're all I've got tonight.
Oh. Wow.
Sorry, Nate. Just messing with you. But.
Yeah, no, we don't like Nate, but no, we appreciate we appreciate Nate being on the show. But things happen, and the show. I want the show to continue, and it is what it is. And we do shows with Lou on and off anyway, so it made more sense to ask Lou to take over for Nate anyway. So, and just luckily, Lou, you said yes, so here we are.
Very happy to do it. And Music is Life is still a podcast on Rat Salad Review Network. So
That it is.
subscribe to both.
Yes, that's right. Subscribe to
Yes.
both. And I was listening to your latest episode today.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, do you have a crush on me or something? What the hell's going on?
Oh, Wayne, you're all I've got tonight.
Oh my God. By the way, we do have a new sponsor, Lou.
We do.
Yeah, we do have a sponsor.
Oh my God. Who do we knock out?
Be king of your kitchen with Crestfield wax paper.
No, Lou, do you want to read the ad? Go to the
No.
chat, and I
Okay.
put the link up there, and you can read everything for our new sponsor.
I don't believe it. Okay, I'm in the chat.
Yeah.
Blue Chew.
Yeah, your favorite. You use Blue Chew all the time.
Never needed it, never will need it. Thank you very much.
No, we do not have any advertisements on this show. Not yet, anyway.
I was gonna say, what is it, like bubble gum or something?
You wish.
well,
It's basically the chewable version of Viagra. And apparently, if you listen to the House of Hardcore with Tommy Dreamer, or What Happened When with Tony Schiavone, formerly of WCW, now of AEW, they are both sponsored by Blue Chews. So,
Mm.
and Eric Adams from Beyond Bushido said, "Hey man, you should get a paid advertising from Blue Chews." I'm like, "I don't use Blue Chews," and he showed me a clip. He's like, "Your friends use Blue Chews." I'm like, "I can't relate to Blue Chews." Anyways,
But yeah, you mentioned that. on your
Wayne,
show,
get
so
us a
that was
deal
funny.
with a hemorrhoid cream. I'll be suffering guy number one. Oh, the pain, the humility. Will I never be able to sit down comfortably again? And then Lou can be relief guy number one. Oh, what a relief. This is great. I'm going to do the podcast.
ever since I found the hemorrhoid donut, I've been doing a great job in my hosting duties.
I will look up some advertisements, something like that. That'd be very funny to do. But yeah, maybe one day. I don't know. But yeah, I was listening to your show, and you did a very good imitation of Dusty Rhodes, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. You know, this is the mothership of the Rat Salad Review Network, the Rat Salad Review Show with Wayne Noon and Greg Noggle Daddy, if you will, the greatest trio of podcasting ever.
Pretty damn good.
It is
Thank
pretty
you.
good. I thought Dusty Rhodes was right here. But yeah.
Well,
So
I think I had two less chins than him. Sorry, Dusty, rest in peace.
that you do. You do have that over him. But and you look better than his statue that they made of him as well.
Oh,
Do you see
God,
that thing?
I forgot what it looked like, but I remember seeing it and go, God damn, poor
It
Dusty.
look nothing like it.
It looks pretty damn bad. I mean, even by they don't always get it right with statues, but they at least get close. This is bad, Lou. You should really look up a picture of it.
Hold on a second. Give me a second. I'll take a look real quick.
Oh, it was so terrible. But while you're doing that, yeah, please everybody go check out the new Music is Life podcast. Oh, and then you mentioned about your daughter as well, who got her surgery on her thumb, trigger thumb. So glad to
Yes.
hear everything is good with that now.
Jesus
Trigger
Christ,
thumb.
that's
What
not.
happened? She shoot Mr. Burns?
No, but she should shoot the guy that made this Dusty Rhodes statue. This is disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Wayne. Thank you,
terrible.
Greg. No, so basically what I said in the last episode, why I said the name of the show, Music is Life, actually has real meaning for me, is because, you know, as I've told you, as I mentioned before, that my wife is a piano player and a music teacher, and she's the one that noticed that Anna didn't have full range of motion on her right thumb. It was just by some freak thing right before Christmas. So she called the orthopedic, and the orthopedic doctor did an x-ray on her hand and said that she has a trigger thumb, which is basically the tendon is keeping the thumb from opening all the way. And she asked me, how did you notice this? I said, I didn't. My wife did, because she's a piano player. And she was telling me, you know how many times things like this actually slip under the radar, and, you know, parents don't notice this until the kids reach the ages of a little older than 3 up until they're 8. And by then, it's like it's harder to do the surgery than you would if you were my daughter's age, which is 2.5. So, and she's already got full range of motion of the right thumb. She doesn't even need occupational therapy. So,
Oh wow.
So that's what I'm saying. Like we probably wouldn't have noticed it if we weren't musicians ourselves. So
yeah. Oh, well, good. I'm glad everything went well.
Yeah,
thanks. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And then when you need a taxi, she'll be helping you out.
Taxi. I'm an Uber driver as well.
That's true too. You are an Uber driver, so how stupid of me am I? Anyway, Greg, everything.
She's paying me. I'm paying her for school tuition.
Everything all right with you, Greg? Anything new?
No, not really. Just doing my raffles,
Yeah, you got a nice raffle with the 2 Iron Maiden albums I saw the other day.
Oh yeah, that's going. I did an Elton John one today and a Quiet Riot.
Very cool. Very cool.
Anybody wants all my stuff?
Yeah. Can anybody join that group?
Yes, Wicked Sweet Vinyl Waffles. If you're in the United States, would probably be the best one for you. And then there's also Raffle Crate, which is an international group, so it's a little bit more expensive, but there's a lot more variety.
Yeah, very cool. Check that out. I had to get out of those because I see too many things that I want, and I'm just spending money, and it's too much for me.
Well, most people don't buy 10 slots at a time.
I know. Yeah, some people are crazy.
Some people can do that, and
yeah.
But I win fairly often. I won all 4 of Pantera's first albums on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's next on my look for list. Maybe I'll find it on that website that you recommended.
For that stimulus check. No, seriously, a couple of them skyrocketed up in price recently. People are paying $350 for "I Am the Night" with the fan club insert right now. They all came with it. I know not all of them still have it, but I don't ever remember that costing that much in past years.
Well, I think I know the reason why it might be costing that much, because Rex Brown admitted in an interview that there's no plans to ever re-release those on a major label. He said whatever's out there is all you're going to get. And, the moment you hear something like that, boom, everything skyrockets in price.
It's true.
This predated that, but yeah, I suppose that could be why people are paying it.
Yeah. But it's funny though, but, not to deviate, but he was also talking mad shit about Terrence Lee. Is that the original Pantera lead singer?
Yes, Terry Glaze. I friended
Terry
you.
Glaze.
Please accept so we can interview you because
he
I
did?
really want to. Yeah, huh? No, I want him to. He still hasn't yet.
Okay.
But I did friend request him, and I hope he does because I would very much like to talk to Terry Glaze.
Yeah. Yeah, after I read like what you just brought up, Lou, I read that as well, and I would like to hear what Terry Glaze has to say about that time that he spent in Pantera. Because it seems like they enjoyed that period. They did it for so long, and so they can't just,
I just think it's funny because, Phil will always be the one to praise the era of Pantera that he was in, and rightly so. Of course, yeah. But Rex was the one that was
wrong.
Oh yes, I forgot. Greg is not a fan of the Phil Anselmo era.
No.
But Rex, on the other hand, has been around since the beginning. The original 4 Pantera albums, not to take away anything from them, and he has no kind words for Mr. Terry Glaze.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
No.
So I'd like to know how that whole thing ended. Very interesting. Also, one other thing, and we were mentioning it or I don't know if you brought it up or Nate brought it up in our other chat, Greg. And it's not metal related whatsoever, but I had listened to this band like a long time ago when they first came out. Daft Punk. You know who they are, right, Lou?
Around the world.
Exactly. Daft Punk, yeah, Up All Night to Get Lucky. That's the only song I know, and it's because it reminded me of Prince.
The band that resurrected the career of Mr. Nile Rodgers.
Yeah, they are now gone and over with. They made an interesting video. I don't know. Did you see the video that said it was the end?
I did. It was interesting, and they were pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not metal or rock, but
Well, they had some rockin' songs. I mean, there was I like the stuff they did for the Tron Legacy soundtrack. I like was I don't know if the song's called Body Rock. No, that's a freaking Moby song. Never mind. I don't mean to. Sorry, Daft Punk. Didn't mean to insult you.
Wow.
Well, anyways, no, I mean, Daft Punk have a lot of songs that I enjoy, but honestly, like, there's nothing going on in the world of music right now. I'm just like, if they were going to retire, they should have done it when the impact would have been greater than what it is. Because
Exactly.
you telling me Daft Punk broke up, it's like, okay,
Well,
we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's no live shows. Who gives a shit?
exactly. And you think they would have did it more in like some kind of extravagant way because they could have did something online. They could have did a live show and then because in the video one of the guys blew up. They just exploded.
Oh, so he is a former member of Spinal Tap then.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. And that's how it ended. But you think they would have? Oops. You think they would have did something more creative and maybe did a show and then did something at the end? But whatever. It is what it is. I never went beyond the first album. That was enough for me.
Oh, I'll miss them. Like I said, they had some good songs. It's just weird hearing a lot of them in strip clubs in Long Island City growing up, but I digress.
Well, this show's not about strip clubs or Daft Punk or anything else. Today, we're going to talk about some albums from my recent purchases. Soilwork, a band I just got into. I heard one of this, a song popped up on Amazon Music. I can't remember what the hell name it was. I have it written down in my notes somewhere. Doesn't matter right this second. Really enjoyed that song, and I had to look more into the band. And these two albums were on sale on a website that I found, I think it was laserdisc.com or something, or Laser's Edge or something like that. So they had a whole bunch of stuff on sale. These two albums were on sale. I cannot pronounce the name of this album, the latest one. Starts with a V.
Verkligheten, I think. I don't know.
I don't know what that's called. But then the Ride Majestic is the other one. So it's the last two albums that they had released. So $5, I couldn't go wrong.
No, definitely not.
No.
And in honor of the fact that we are covering a band from Sweden, I am representing Sweden tonight. And for any of you who find the Muppets offensive, go fuck yourselves.
Oh my God, that's another thing. I mean, did you both see that bullshit with Disney putting a disclaimer up?
Well,
I
Disney
find
is like one step away from being the Third Reich, so I'm not 100% shocked. But
seriously, you fired Gina Carano. Now you might possibly fire Rosario Dawson, and then you're making us say. Then you're saying that the Muppets are offensive. What the Vert the Furk?
It just boggles my mind. I'm just so afraid of this world now. I don't want to live in it anymore.
Oh my God. I just think that Mickey's going to turn into a gigantic kaiju like on South Park and just destroy everything.
Yeah, right. I hope things get back to somewhat normal eventually. All this nonsense got to stop.
I agree. Stop the insanity.
Yeah. The Muppets remind me of the mistake I made about 2 weeks ago, though. There was this Judas Priest tribute album. I did not remember Jericho's band. So when I was looking at the track listing, I said, what kind of bugfuck crazy producer decided to get Fozzie the Bear to sing Metal Gods?
Oh, God.
No, bro. Fozzie, Y2J. I'm like, oh, God damn it.
They were called
Hear Me Out would be cooler with Fozzie the Bear.
Yeah.
I'm
Metal Gods, waka waka.
Why did the chicken head out to the highway? Ah. I just think it's funny that Fozzie originally were called Fozzie Osbourne at one point.
Right. They were.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely made a good stylistic choice change there. That Fozzie Osbourne's a little stupid.
It is stupid, but
a little stupid.
Oh, it's really stupid, but I figured you guys might like Jericho. But no, I think it's fuck it, it's retarded. Come at me, bro.
I am objective when it comes to Chris Jericho. When he does good, I'll say he does good.
Right.
When he doesn't, I will call him out on it.
Right. And right now he's kind of all over the place, but this isn't a wrestling show. We need Eric Adams for that.
Yes. Oh, by the way, Wayne, it's Verkligheten, but in English it's pronounced the reality.
Oh, okay.
That's the definition of it.
All right, we can do that then. I'll put that down on my notes here. But anyway, we'll get right into the Ride Majestic, which is released in 2015. It's the 10th studio album, the last to feature Dirk. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Dick Verburen.
The drummer in Megadeth.
Thank you. The new drummer in Megadeth. So that's his last album. Also, longtime bassist Olaf Flink. That's an easier name to pronounce. He left the band as well. And new bassist Markzu Wibbaum. God, please, people, make some real names here.
Yeah, really. Celtic Frost and Corner had the decency to use stage names.
I know, right? Come on.
Warrior, Reed St. Mark. I mean, come on. You know those weren't their real names.
Yeah.
Wait, they were.
Well, Martin Ains was, I think. But, yeah.
But anyway.
But Tommy T. Barron, Marky, obviously not real.
Right. No, not at all.
Yes, and the Funky Bunch were not that funky. Anyways, keep going.
But anyway, the new bassist was credited on the album, but he did what? He did not play on it. All right. So this is, like I said earlier, I heard that one single, and I got so entranced in, that's one single. I had to go find some albums to buy, and I found these two. And I'm going to say right now, I really enjoy this band a lot, and I'm gonna go and search out all the other albums because I like this style. I don't like death metal, I don't like the growling type stuff, but I like it when they do it like this, when it's got the growling and then it's got the clean vocals going on. And I like the double bass drums and, all that crazy progressive type stuff. And this band actually does all that stuff. And it's awesome to me.
If that's the case, I suggest you start with Natural Born Chaos because there's a lot more dichotomy between growl and clean vocals. They showed traces of clean vocals on the previous album, A Predator's Portrait, but not as much as they would on Natural Born Chaos. And I think Chain Heart Machine was the last Soilwork album to have all death vocals.
Oh, really? All right.
Mm-hmm. I'm a huge Soilwork fan, so I'm.
Really? I had no idea. I knew you knew them, but I didn't know you knew them that well.
Natural Born Chaos is actually one of my top 5 favorite metal CDs of all time. So.
Very interesting. Now, Greg, I know you don't have a kind of similar experience with Soilwork. I know you used to listen to them at some point, though.
Buddies of mine were real into them in high school. I never really, outright hated it or thought they sucked. It's just there were other melodic death metal bands, if you want to call it that I liked much, much better. And they just kind of bored me a little bit. And I really hadn't listened to them until you sent me these two and picked them.
Well, what the hell were you listening to that was better than this at that time? I can't even think.
Here's my... What?
What other bands were better than this?
Fear Factory was still producing.
Oh, I love Fear Factory, but I don't.
Death was still around. Obituary. But no, you want a good melodic metal example of someone that was progressive? Martyr with Dan Mongrain, who's now in Voivod. They were spectacular.
I'll have to check that out.
And it was not to get down on the guys in Soilwork at all because they're not bad musicians. I'm not a big fan of how these songs are composed on here, and we'll get into that in a minute. But Martyr's just like more dynamic. Might as well talk about it now. Why not, right? Anyway. The second one with the Swedish title I actually liked better because it had a little bit more of a classic heavy metal sensibility in the in the melody lines and the chords and shit like that, and I think it was a little more distinctive and a little bit more catchy. But the Ride Majestic, there seem to be 3 basic song templates that alternate between the growling vocals, the clean, and then back. One's mid-tempo, one's faster, and one's slower. And they just seem to alternate throughout all 15 songs. And while there's parts I thought were cool, I couldn't get into it. Kind of bored me overall. It sounded like one long song for large stretches of it. except for I think it was tracks 4 and 5 stood out to me. I just can't remember the names because I don't have the CD.
Enemies Infidelity and 4 and 5. You said?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
God, I hate when I use these weird fonts you can't read. Pitch, and then when you can't read the words either, it makes it even worse. Something by Sulfur. There you go.
But yeah, and Enemies in Reality I thought was the best song on it, but those were really the only two on here.
That's a Nevermore album.
Yeah.
That's Enemies of Reality, but yes.
Yeah. But no, I kind of agree with you a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe this album is a concept album, because I do agree with you how things do sound very similar with the songs, and so maybe that's why, because it is a concept album, so the songs kind of had to be similar to each other. I don't know. I didn't really look that much into this album.
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son is a concept album, and none of those songs sound the same.
I don't think that's a concept album.
I think even Maiden said it wasn't a concept album. They tried to base it around
Depends
a concept.
on which member you talk to. Bruce still considers it a concept album,
this is true.
No, it is not a full concept album.
And we know Bruce is the most opinionated member of Maiden, but we also know it's Harris's band.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. But yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that it could be. I really have to look more into that. But it probably isn't.
Well, I kind of agree with what Greg is saying. I mean, if you think about it, Soilwork came from, they were around along with bands like In Flames and Gardenian and Nightingales. They were, I guess you could call it the second wave of melodic Swedish death metal, or as you call what At the Gates started, At the Gates core. And then you got to think about the time that they were really popular was along American bands such as Killswitch Engage and God Forbid and Shadows Fall, Unearth, and things like that. So in terms of the way Soilwork, the way they evolved, kind of having that screamy verse, melodic chorus, I hate to say it, but it's the formulaic template for what a lot of these bands did.
Right.
Which is why, as a fan of Soilwork, both these albums hurt me. It really did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it pains me to say that because I love Soilwork. I remember the first time I heard about them, I was actually at Lemoore in Brooklyn with my buddy Jay. We went to go see In Flames. And the opening acts were, get this, Walls of Jericho, Skin Lab, and Earth Crisis.
Jeez.
Which is not an odd...
A whole lot of suck for your buck.
Well, it wasn't as odd as a concert I saw the following year, which was God Forbid, Nile, Vision of Disorder, and Cradle of Filth.
Well, that's weird. Yeah.
That was a pretty weird... and anyways, so I ended up running into one of my old college radio reps there. And I told him, yeah, I'm really excited to see In Flames because, I was a really big fan of the Colony album. Mm-hmm. And he said, well, if you like In Flames, you'll love Soilwork. I'm like, who's Soilwork? Never heard of them. Mm-hmm. And he ripped me a copy of The Chain Heart Machine. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, to me, it was better than everything else that had either come out of Sweden at the time or anything else that was around at the time in general. Because I had been a fan of like the 90s wave of black metal for a while. Like I had known about Cradle of Filth since like 96 before Cruelty and the Beast came out. And I knew about Dimmu Borgir's back when Stormblast came out. So when I heard Soilwork, it was like, wow, they got the melody, they got the aggression, they got the speed, they got the musicianship. Right. So it's like, as a fan of like different subgenres of metal, it really spoke to me. So that's why, like, when Natural Born Chaos came out, I was like, wow, they reached that pinnacle of greatness with it. So I don't know, maybe it's just me sounding fickle, and I don't mean to, because like I said, I do love the band still, I respect them, but let's face it, it's the Speed Strid band at this point. He's the only member left from the original lineup.
Oh yeah,
and
okay.
Yeah. And hey, listen, as far as I'm concerned, whether I like it or not, he earned the right to do whatever the hell he wants with it. God bless him. Do your thing. But you know, I guess the 19-year-old in me that was a fan of Soilwork the first time I heard them, I guess I was just expecting, hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah.
I should have prefaced that the 19-year-old fan that I was, not the 19-year-old in me. Okay, I retract that statement from the record.
We're taken the wrong way, but yeah. Well, now that you say all that, I'm really interested now to get to the older albums, because if there's better stuff than this, and that kind of excites me to hear that stuff more. Because I really enjoyed these, and I like, even though, like Greg says, there is a lot of similarities with a lot of these songs. I really do like this album a lot. Although on my first listen, I thought this thing just went on and on and on forever. And I just kept waiting for the last song to just, for this whole album to end. I was just like, why is it so long? And then finding out it's only like 50 minutes.
My point.
but on the second to third listen, it got shorter because I got to know the songs a little bit better. And then I would hear songs that I would want to hear again. And then when it got up to those songs, I was excited to hear them again. And then the album didn't seem as long as it seemed the first time. So it just always has to do with at the moment that you're listening to it, And I think that's what happened with me. I was listening to it at work, and just, it was just kind of background music at the first time, But
same here.
Yeah. But I do love the album. I mean, there's a lot of really cool songs, like the Ride Majestic. A Light in the Aftermath, I really liked. Death in General, that's my second favorite song. First favorite song, Father and Son Watching the World Go Down. I think that's my favorite song in general, just in any band right at this moment. I don't know what it is, just there's a lot of really cool melodic stuff going on, especially with his vocals. I love that shit. And even in the verses where it's just him and the drums doing, the vocals and the drums together. I love that part, and then that lead up part to the chorus, that's really catchy, and then the chorus is just fucking catchy on its own. And I don't know, just a lot of shit that I like that's in this song. It just makes this song awesome to me. It reminds me a little bit of kind of like Evergrey a little bit, some kind of maybe some earlier Dream Theater a little bit. Not Dream Theater obviously, but maybe like a heavier, darker Dream Theater, I guess.
Yeah, the progressive stylings are definitely there.
Right, that's all there. So that's what just it reminds me of that period of time, like the early mid 90s or whatever, when those bands were kind of, pretty, not like they are now. They're more progressive back then, and it was taking me back to that time. And I just love that song. And yeah, so the album's really cool. I mean, I really have no problems with it. I'm going to listen to this a few more times, and I'm going to put some of these songs on my playlists, and yeah, I enjoy the album a lot. The Ride Majestic. What about you, Lou? I mean, you said you don't really. I mean, you like the older stuff.
Well, I mean, to be objective, I would have to say if I had to choose between the two albums, although there's songs I like more on the one with the name that I can't pronounce. I
forgot what you even said it was. What was it called again? What was the English version?
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll just say real quick. The Reality.
Reality. Yes, that's right.
I'd have to say, even though there were songs on there that I preferred, I thought the Ride Majestic was the better of the two as far as an album. Yeah. My favorite songs, I'd have to say, are the title track itself, Ride Majestic, World of Pain, and All Along Echoing Paths, followed by the two tracks that were, I think, on the digital release only.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Of Hollow Dreams and Ghost and Thunder. So I have to say those are probably my 5 favorite tracks on them. And I like, the melodies are there, the choruses are great, but again, it's just kind of formulaic. Like, for me, it's like, okay, I don't just want like a bouncy riff. I don't want a sing-along chorus. I as a music fan also want some substance in the verses. Right. And I just felt like the ones that kind of lost me on both albums, I don't, maybe it's me. Maybe I just didn't get it. Maybe I was just hoping too much. Because, like I said, like if I were to say what my 3 favorite Soilwork albums are, I would say Natural Born Chaos, Figure Number 5, Predator's Portrait, and then at 4 I would say Chain Harm Machine, 5 Sworn to a Great Divide. Those are my benchmark for Soilwork. But again, it's not a bad album. Like, I'm sure if I never heard those albums first, like you, Wayne, I would probably love this album a lot more. But I guess it's just because, like Greg, would probably agree with, like, you've heard this so many times that after a while it just becomes very, meh, really. But again, much love and respect for the band and their legacy. As far as I'm concerned, anyone that's had 5 consistently good albums, I mean, really, what more can you hope for?
Yeah. Yeah, they've been around for a long time. So, I mean, where could they really go? At some point in their career, they have to change at least slightly,
Yeah, and people change. You're not the same person at 40 that you were at 20. Right. So, like I said, Bjorn is his real name, but Speedster, the lead singer, he's entitled to do whatever he wants. As far as I'm concerned, he earned that right. So, and he has his cult of fans that will buy everything. Although I do think it's unfortunate that Ride Majestic was the last Soilwork album to actually chart on the Billboard Top 200.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And meanwhile, I thought that the previous album actually was the highest charting Soilwork album. But, I was just like, yeah, you can't have that many fans illegally download. I'm sure there's some people. I wish there were some people out there that actually bought it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's also that period of time. I mean, 2015. I guess that was a big thing back then too. That was really, like illegal downloading was like huge. I mean, Greg does it all the time, but 2015. Don't download illegal downloads, people. Understand? This is why bands disappear. All right? This is why Daft Punk broke up, because you downloaded their albums illegally. You have to buy the stuff, or they will disappear. They will explode.
Did you really have to bring Daft Punk into the conversation? We're talking about fucking Soilwork.
It was the most recent thing I could think of. Greg, anything else about the Ride Majestic you want to talk about?
Nope.
Great.
Well, other than you guys say sing-along choruses, but I can't distinguish the lyrics from one to the next.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
We won't go there. But I just like the melodies of how the clean vocals are. Like Lou was saying, that if this was new to him, it would feel different. Just like it was me. This is the first time I really got into this band, and I really don't listen to styles like this. So it's kind of new to me in a way. Even though some bands I listen to sound similar to this, but not like what, I don't know. They just do it. I like how they do it. Anyway, next album, the 11th studio album. What was the name of it again?
The English translation.
Yeah. Released in 2019, Nuclear Blast. First album with new drummer Bastian Thusgaard. It's also the first album to have the longest gap between studio albums. Guess how many years between the studio albums? You're wrong.
4.
You're wrong. 3.5 long years.
That is pretty long for Soilwork. At one point, they were putting out an album a year.
Well, that's insane. But saying 3.5 years is so long. Like, come on. You can't wait 3.5 years? You think there was people dying like, oh my God, I haven't heard Soilwork in a year. I need a new album.
That's how I felt yesterday.
I don't know. You're the guys that like them. The hell are you asking me for?
Well, it's still new to me. I got I got 9 more albums to go through.
I'll be honest with you. When I started falling out with them was when they were on Ozfest 2005. That album, I was not a fan of. Stabbing the Drama. It was them. I felt like that was them trying to go the popular metal route at the time. 2005 was still like right at the death toll of nu metal.
Yeah.
And
I remember seeing that album. That album was like all over everything.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that album.
Everywhere. Yeah. That I definitely remember seeing. But
that was really what turned me off of them, actually. But let's move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy Joutson from Amorphous, and Dave Sheldon, who was also the bassist in Annihilator from 2008 and 2010. He was on Live at Masters of Rock album, the Annihilator album. They are both on this album as guest vocalists. The last two songs, I believe. But
Alyssa White Gluz from Arch Enemy is also. That was a bonus track.
Shit about her. Who was the first person you said?
Tommy from Amorphous.
Yeah.
Amorphous. Okay. That's it crackled when you said it, but
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Not a fan of Arch Enemy, Greg?
No, more so her and her business practices, but no, I don't like Arch Enemy.
I like her blue hair. She's got nice blue hair.
That's cookie cutter teen metal there.
Well, she is dating Doyle of the Misfits, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think she's the one that converted him to veganism.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Silly.
Hey,
So silly.
That's whatever. I respect people's choices that way as long as they're not thrown in.
As do I.
I don't respect anybody's choices. But anyway.
Well, you will if I get Tom Warrior on here.
Oh, yeah. I'll be good for Tom Warrior. Don't worry about that. But anyway, I like this album. We were discussing this a little bit earlier. This one's a lot more accessible, I think, to anybody, really. I mean, obviously you have to be in the metal to listen to this, because I play this at work, and the girl worked next to me. Thank God, when I was getting ready to leave, she's like, "Thank God you turned it off," So she's not going to get into this. But if you're into metal and you're not into like a heavy, screaming death metal type stuff, I think you would like this. This is a lot of progressive stuff in here. It's a little bit lighter. So give it a try. But again, it's very catchy. I mean, I think every song on here is awesome. I really enjoyed it. It did not seem as long as the other album did to me. I think this one went by a lot faster, probably because I enjoyed every song more.
Well, also the first song is an instrumental, so that moved you on to the second track very quickly.
That it does move you on quickly.
Yes, it does, but I feel this one was catchier and more dynamic overall with the differences between the songs. It was easier to get into.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. I think that you can differentiate the songs from one song from another on this album, as opposed to the last one. And one thing too, like you just mentioned, did they start every album off with like a slow, weird thing that doesn't sound like the rest of the album?
No, on the contrary. Usually every song that starts off every album, with the exception of Figure Number 5, because that was a pretty much like streamlined, like fast track, but not like double blast beats that they would normally open their first album. Like their first albums, like Chain Harm Machine, Predator's Portrait, Natural Born Chaos, it's a sonic blitzkrieg, in my opinion. That's the best way I could explain it. I mean, fast. I don't want to say the word brutal because I feel like that word gets over abused and misused so many times. But, fast, melodic, hard hitting, great shit. And to answer your question, no, that's not normally how they start every album, with an intro, an instrumental, especially one that makes me wish I had a Mai Tai with a hot goth chick in Hawaii. What's up with that?
I know. I'm like, because the other albums start off slow too, and I'm like, do they do this every time? I mean, it's kind of cool. I like the intro to this one though. It kind of reminded me of something of I don't know if you heard the band. What the hell's the name of the band now? Is it Dog Fashion Disco? I think it's Dog Fashion Disco, the Adultery album.
I haven't heard that one. I haven't. That was a band in college radio that Spitfire Records tried to ask me to play, and I said absolutely not.
Oh my God, they're awesome.
Tomato.
We're gonna do that show. Fuck you. We're gonna do them on the show.
I'll listen to it for the show, absolutely, but I can't promise you that I'll say anything good about it.
Well, they're awesome, man.
All right, that's fine.
They're awesome. I'm telling you.
Hey, look, if I had to pick a band from that time that I felt was extremely overlooked, I would have to say it was Boiler Room. And I'm really happy that Rob Caggiano actually made a career for himself with Anthrax and with Volbeat. So good for him.
Good for him. Greg, what do you feel about this album? I mean, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but
I liked it better. But again, there's only like 2, maybe 3 songs that really stand out to me. It's okay. I don't hate it. It just doesn't strike me as very interesting, but this was easier to listen to, and it's a more enjoyable listen because the songs are more different.
Yeah. I wonder how the fans receive this album. I mean, are there hardcore Soilwork fans?
I would imagine there are, like there are with any other band.
Well,
What a
that is
ridiculous
true.
question, Professor.
It is. I'm sorry. I should just. I phrased that wrong.
I mean, I have to be honest.
I know what you mean. Sorry.
Of the bands that I know people were fans of in the late 90s, early 2000s, with the exception of Lamb of God, no one ever really talks about them anymore, which is kind of a shame. But again, that's probably just my own circle of friends. I don't know what it's like elsewhere, but
I don't know. I tried to put a thing out on Twitter, Twitter, and I said, Soilwork. What's anybody's thoughts? Of course, nobody answered the fucking question, but I probably should have tagged them or something, and people would have came to it. But
actually,
that nobody said anything was kind of shocking.
There is one friend of mine that I know was a huge Soilwork fan along with me back in the day. My buddy Doc Reinhardt, who is a singer-songwriter, who's also multi-talented instrumentalist. He was all about Soilwork because of their drum patterns, and he again, like me, followed them up until about Sworn to a Great Divide. So I actually had a conversation with him the last time was about a year ago on our way to a gig, because at one point we were both in the same cover band. And to prepare for the show, we just put on a Soilwork playlist, and that's all we were listening to on the way there. So, we started playing Soilwork in our sound check, and our drummer's like, "What are you doing? Stop that." But nobody else recognized it, so no. It's a shame.
But I could see hardcore fans not liking this album. It's very light compared to the other stuff. So, what do you think of this album, though?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I said that the songs on here that I did like, I liked more than on the previous one, the Rise Majestic. But as a whole, I like the Rise Majestic better as an album. But I thought the standout tracks on this were the song Arrival, which to me, that is a typical Soilwork opener for me, which I love that one. Also, Bleeder to Spoiler. They kind of lost me at Full Moon Shoals was good.
That's the one I like the best.
Okay.
Really? All right.
Let's see. To me, I thought the best song on the album was track 7. I'm gonna butcher this right now. I apologize in advance. Stahlfogel.
Yeah, close enough.
And I mean, that's it for me as far as my favorite songs. And again, I think those songs are better than the album Rise Majestic, but I thought Rise Majestic as a whole is a better album, if that makes any sense.
No, not at all. But I understand.
I don't understand, but okay.
I get it.
I would rather listen to those songs and that's it. Oh, I just hit my mic. I'd rather listen to those songs and that's it. But if I had to listen to an album from start to finish, it would be Ride Majestic of the two.
No, I understand what you mean. I don't understand how you arrived at that determination because it makes no sense to me. But
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm just here to shake things up, Greg.
But yeah, I like some of the songs you mentioned as well. Arrival, awesome opener. Leader to Spoiler, great song. The Nurturing Glance, neither one of you mentioned.
What number is it?
Number 5.
I think
I like that one too.
That one.
This is where the album started to lose me. That's why I didn't mention it.
Okay. That one, I don't know, Greg, if you noticed, because I did, or it sounded very similar to me, but it sounded like a Merciful Fate riff from In the Shadows. You probably have to go back and listen.
I had thought Time originally.
Okay. So at least we were on the same kind of.
But I have to go back and listen to In the Shadows because you're probably right. But yeah.
At least we're on the same page there. So you heard that too. So
see, I actually thought that the riff in the verse kind of reminded me a little bit of El Dorado from Maiden's Final Frontier album. I don't know why. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit. But I found the chorus quite yawn.
Oh no, I like every chorus on this fucking album's awesome to me. I don't know, I like everything on this. It was very hard for me to pick favorite songs, but these are the top favorites. When the Universe Spoke, there was one thing about this song. In the way it begins with like that guitar melody thing, they must have ripped that off of a video game, and I think they ripped it off of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not sure which Sonic the Hedgehog game, but I swear on my CD collection, it's a Sonic the Hedgehog game. It's like in a water world or whatever, and it's got that same guitar line in it. And as soon as I heard it, it brought me back to that game.
You're talking about track.
When the
Universe Spoke. That's track 6.
Track 6, yeah.
I actually, for me, that was very reminiscent of a lot of what was popular at the time that Soilwork had come out. So I'll definitely give that one some points. That was a nice little blast from the past for me.
Yeah.
Interesting. That was one of the ones I liked the least because it sounded more like something like Shadows Fall.
I like Shadows Fall too. So.
Oh no.
Oh, well, that's next week's show. The other song I like. No,
it's not. It's Coroner Part 1. Yes, real good Swedish progressive stuff.
I have to start listening to that. That song that we couldn't really pronounce, Stahlfagel or whatever. I love that.
I think you pronounced it right.
Maybe. Catchy verse in this one. I know I probably heard something similar to this once before. I mean, this is not anything new going on here, but it's just a lot of crazy, catchy melodies in this one. I love the chorus.
No, this is a really good, catchy song, and there's a couple guitar riffs in it, and not that they lifted them from a song, don't get me wrong on what I'm saying here, but they sound a lot like something Armored Saint would do, so I actually really enjoyed that track.
Yeah, the song just sounds very familiar. You know, it doesn't sound like. Yeah. When the Wolves are back in town, that one's cool, and that's it.
The Wolves are back. The Wolves.
Guess who just got out today from the basement over by the bay?
Whatsoever. But like I said, it's hard for me to pick any song off of this because I just this is one of my favorite albums that I have discovered, and I will
dragging that squirrel carcass across the prairie. If the crows don't want to know, then forget them.
And if the wolves want to eat, you better let them.
The wolves are back in town. All right. So
we did Thin Lizzy last week.
We did, and then I don't know if you ever heard it, but did you ever hear the Thin Lizzy song I did on Jim Cornette's podcast show?
I never heard the finished thing.
Oh, I never sent you the thing. Yeah, that was me.
No, you sent me it when you were working on it, but never the finished thing. I honestly thought you forgot about it, and it just never got done. So I
did finish it. I don't know where it is now. I think I deleted it.
I got to hear that again. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was
funny. How long ago was this?
Oh my god, it was months ago. It was probably, I'd say maybe around Christmas time.
Yeah,
maybe before Christmas time, somewhere around.
No, I wasn't listening to it around then.
Okay, Christmas-ish. Yeah.
I was working from home, recuperating from COVID at the time, so I wasn't.
No, it was way before that. It was way before that.
Okay, but. No, I'd love to hear it though. That'd be great.
It was terrible. My voice is garbage, but it was funny. And then it
says the man who hosts the podcast that we're doing.
Yeah, my voice is terrible. Everybody knows that. But yeah, like I said, that album. I don't find any bad songs on there, and it's a perfect 10 for me. I know you guys don't feel the same way, but it's for me. Being new to this band, it's awesome, and I suggest everybody just go out and at least give it a chance. You know, don't steal it. Don't download it. Pay for it and actually buy it. You know.
And just because I wasn't a fan of it as much as Wayne, I'd like to tell everyone, please don't let my opinion deter you from giving it a listen. I mean, Soilwork, in my opinion, out of the bands that came out at the time from Gothenburg, Sweden in the 90s, early 2000s, I still say they're the best one of that style. So give it a listen. But make sure you listen to Natural Born Chaos so you can hear real Soilwork.
I definitely will. I'm going to buy the whole discography. Do they have live albums too? I'm not going to buy them, but I'm just curious.
I can't recall, actually.
All right, good. I'm not going to buy them anyway.
Also, I apologize. I didn't realize they were from Sweden. I thought they were Swiss, like Coroner. I wasn't paying attention at first, so I take back what I said earlier.
That's all right. I thought Coroner was from Germany, so all right.
No, Switzerland.
All right, you didn't have to get so offensive about that. Jesus Christ. I
My
made a
tongue's
mistake.
swollen.
Greg.
I'm trying to say Switzerland without choking on my own spit.
Why is your tongue
You have
swollen?
a problem? Because I had a seizure, you jackass. You don't remember me
Did you bite
talking
your
about
tongue?
this?
Hey, Wayne, into the cold lake with you, okay?
We can't mention that on the show. He'll never come on.
Fine, into Crypts of Rays with you.
Damn right.
Into a Polynesian Sun. Is that the name of that album? Did I say that right? Apollyon.
Apollyon Sun. Jesus.
Under Apollyon Sun, not into, but yes.
That's close enough. Anything else?
I don't think Wayne's a real Celtic Frost fan.
I am. I got all the albums up there somewhere.
Cold
You never heard
his favorite.
It is my favorite. I love the play.
Oh, God.
I like Celtic Frosted Flakes by SOD. That's a good song.
Nah.
And what you mentioned before, Lou, before we get off of here, about, not taking your, what the hell did you say now? Something about your opinion. Crap, it was in my head and I lost it.
Oh yeah, no, we were having a powwow on the Facebook Messenger, because we like to talk about the show before we do it. We try to do as much pre-planning as we possibly can. We're all busy. We all have full-time jobs. A couple of us have families and things like that. So, we really get to discuss stuff on Facebook. But, the one thing that we just want to remind people, these are only our opinions. Okay? Nobody should be offended by somebody's opinions. If someone says something that I disagree with, I'm just going to be like, all right, dude, whatever. You do you. And I'm not going to say the old cliche that opinions are like assholes and things like that, but the only thing I'm going to say is that just because Wayne or Greg may think something differently from me, so fucking what? I mean, we're bound by respect for each other, love for the genre and music in general, and we can sit down and have a conversation about it. So, all these people that have their friggin' tits up in a roar because, they're so offended that someone says something that's contrarian to their beliefs, really, maybe you should question your own beliefs and stop projecting on other people. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah, that's very true. Like I mentioned earlier, I was on a message board, and a guy was complaining because they didn't like all the band's, the whole discography of the band or every single song. I mean, you don't have to like every single song. Even the bands don't like their albums sometimes and their songs. So
no, James Hetfield hates the song "Escape." That's the one song that he regrets ever writing. I love that song, but whatever.
So do I. I think it was a good one. Greg hates it.
No, I like Escape. That's on Ride Majestic.
That's Greg's favorite last Metallica album. But yeah, I mean, just, there are opinions, and you should have your own opinion, and you don't let anybody not let you have that opinion.
With one special amendment, Sammy Hagar sucks.
Oh my
God!
Oh God!
And Wayne, we can't disagree with that. We played on the track for Ralph.
Yeah. Cue Ralph video.
That's right. I should add it to this. Right. Maybe I will. Here is a video that we did with me, Lou, and what's his name, George.
George from Timeless On.
George from
Wow!
I have a terrible memory.
A week later.
My fellow Greek brother, Yas Utikanis File.
Yeah, we did just have him on here. But yeah, me, Lou, and George and Ralph Vieira did a Van Halen song, and then Ralph went off on his own and did a Sammy Hagar Sucks version of the Atomic Punk song.
Without telling us he was going to do it.
Yeah, he just did it out of the blue. And it came out really awesome and funny, and I'm going to add it to the end of this. Actually, I have to tell him to send it to me so I can add it, but yeah. So
Sammy Hagar sucks.
I like Sammy Hagar. Whatever.
Shut up.
5150 is the best Van Halen album ever, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bullshit.
Lame, and wrong. It's fair warning.
No,
Thank you, Greg. That's my favorite album of all time.
Really? Good choice.
Thank you. Actually, my three favorites are Fair Warning, Diary of a Madman, and Killers. So those are my 3 favorite albums of all time.
Those are terrible albums. Bye.
Yeah, they are. And they all came out the same
No,
year. Do you
they're
realize that?
Yeah.
All right, turn that off.
And you make me crazy.